Hi there everyone, your Pyral here with another vlog. So I have another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile video for you, and this is actually one that I have really been excited to make because ever since Power of the Elements came out in Japan, I wanted to make this deck. So once it finally came out here in the US, I was finally able to build this deck, and I'm just really excited because it's a deck based off of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which is my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, and it's actually a deck um, based off my favorite character from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Also, just my favorite, I guess, Yu-Gi-Oh! Character in general. But it's based off of Judai's deck, which is, I mean, I know I have another deck based off of his, the Evil Hero deck, but no, this one is a more, I guess, traditional Judai deck. I'll just show you. This deck here is a Neos deck. I've wanted to do this for quite some time, and even as a kid, I was really fascinated by the concept of making a Neos deck, but it just Neospacians and Neos just really weren't cutting it. But with all the support that they've gotten over the years, it's actually just become a whole lot more useful. So to start things off here, I have two copies of Elemental Hero Neos. Just because it is one of the main cards of this deck. It's Judai's signature card, so gotta have that in there. I was thinking of running 3 originally, but I think 2 is actually a good number. Then I have 1 copy of Rainbow Dragon, so this is for to make Rainbow Neos, because Rainbow Neos is just a really, really good card. That's the only reason this card is in this deck, but yeah. Next up is Honest Neos, which it could be used to power up any of my hero monsters in a pinch. So just really, really neat. Now this is one of the new cards from Power of the Elements, Elemental Hero Spirit of Neos. It can special summon itself if the opponent declares an attack. It gets special summon in defense position, and it can't be destroyed by battle. And if this card is special summoned, just in any way, shape, or form, it doesn't have to be like through its effect, I can add a card from my deck that is either Polymerization or a spell or trap that mentions an Elemental Hero monster's name. So there's quite a few spells and traps here that specifically list Neos, and they're all searchable because of Spirit of Neos. And then, during my main phase, I can shuffle Spirit of Neos from the field into the deck, and then special summon Neos from, or just a normal Elemental Hero monster, which is going to be Neos in this instance, from the deck. So, really, really nice to get this out. I also like how this card's artwork is a reference to one of the times it was summoned. Same with Honest Neos being a reference to an episode of Season 4 of the anime. Next up, I am running 2 copies of Elemental Hero Stratos, just because being able to search for any hero cards, just really, really good. And sometimes its spell and trap destruction effect could come in handy, but the fact that its searching effect is not once per turn, really handy. I was also considering running 3 of this, but yeah. Then right over here, I have Liquid Soldier. Price dropped dramatically for this, so I was actually able to get a copy for this, and then for one of my other decks, because this is the 3rd deck that runs Liquid Soldier. And before, with the Evil Hero and the Destiny Hero deck, I was swapping the copy between the decks, but now I have a copy for each of those decks. But if it's normal summon, I can target a level 4 or lower hero monster in my graveyard and special summon it. And then if this card is used as fusion material for a hero monster and sent to the graveyard or banished, I can then draw 2 and then discard a card from my hand, which is really, really nice for the draw power. And sometimes being able to summon something, like being able to summon Stratos off this effect, could come in handy. But yeah, that's Liquid Soldier is just a really good card. Next up here is Shadow Mist. Its main reason here, I'm not really using it for its special summon effect to add change, a change quick play spell card from my deck, because I don't run one. I mean, I kind of have one, but that's just if I want to switch into it. But its effect where if it's sent to the graveyard just from anywhere, I can add a hero monster from the deck to the hand. Really, really useful, because I could use that in tandem with some of the spells and traps. Send that to the grave, search Stratos, use Stratos to search for something else. Just really, really handy. This one I'm not so sure if I should run 2 of or just 1 of, but Neospace Connector. When it's normal summon, I can special summon the Neospatian monster or Elemental Hero Neos from the hand or deck in defense position. Then I contribute this card, then target a Neospacian or Elemental Hero Neos in my graveyard, special summon it in defense position. So, really easy way to get a contact fusion out, but the fact that I do need to use a normal summon for one of its effects, I'm not too sure. And then here are the Neospacians. Dark Panther. Most of the Neospacians I'm not really using for their effects. They're just there for materials for fusions. But I mean, Dark Panther could come in handy where it can copy an opponent's monster's effect and name, maybe. Neospatian Grand Mole. This is probably the most useful, or one of the most useful. Just being able to return a monster to the opponent's hand and bounce Grand Mole back to the hand to protect it from some cards in some instances. That could be useful. Air Hummingbird. I guess the life point recovery effect could be nice. Aqua Dolphin is actually pretty nice because I can just discard a card, look at the opponent's hand, choose a monster, and if I control a monster with attack greater than or equal to the attack of the chosen card, I can destroy that card and then the opponent takes 500. So being able to get rid of a card in the opponent's hand could come in handy. Flare Scarab gains 400 attack for each spell and trap. I'm not really going to be using that. And then Glow Moss, just if this card attacks or is attacked, the opponent draws a card, and then I can either end the battle phase if they draw a monster, if they draw a spell, then I can change that attack to a direct attack, and then if it's a trap, then Glow Moss is just change the defense position. So, yeah. Then I have 2 copies of a new card here, Crosskeeper. So, Crosskeeper. I can send this card from my hand or field to the graveyard to special summon an elemental hero monster or a Neospacian from the hand or graveyard, but their effects are negated, so there's that. But I can also special summon an elemental hero fusion monster, or if I special summon it while Crosskeeper's in the graveyard, I can draw 2, then place a card from the hand to the bottom of the deck. So, draw power is nice. Onwards to the spells and traps, I have Called by the Grave, just because being able to banish an opponent's monster in the graveyard and negate effects of monsters with the same name, really nice, and also just being able to negate hand traps can also be very, very useful. Just a really, really solid card. Next up, I have 3 copies of Engage Neospace. This is one of the best cards for a Neos deck, and Power of the Elements really, really did good with this card. But this card, so I can send a Neospacian monster and an Elemental Hero monster, one from the hand and one from the deck to the graveyard. Then I special summon a Neospacian monster or a level 5 or higher Elemental Hero monster from the deck. Then I can add Polymerization from the deck or graveyard to the hand, which is really, really handy. And then if I special summon Neos this way, it gains 1000 attack. I'm not going to be summoning regular Neos this way, but the idea here, also I can only summon fusion monsters when I activate this card, or for the rest of the turn, which is fine because most of the extra deck is fusion monsters. But the idea here is use this to send, doesn't matter which Neospacian I have here, but yeah, send any of those, and then send Shadow Mist to the graveyard. So Shadow Mist effect activates. I also get a search from Engage Neospace to get Polymerization. So with Shadow Mist, I can add in Stratos, and then I special summon Spirit of Neos. Because that gets special summoned, I can then get a different spell or trap card that lists Elemental Hero Neos, which there's a few in this deck, and then I have Polymerization in my hand. I play Stratos, get Liquid Soldier, so that's a free fusion right there. Then I draw 2 thanks to Liquid Soldier, and then I discard 1. So if I get really lucky with what I draw, more potential there. But Polymerization into Sunrise, get Miracle Fusion there. It's just, there's a lot of combo potential just with Engage Neospace and depending on what I have in my hand at the moment. This is a fun little card to mess around with. Favorite hero. I like how Elemental Hero Flame Wingman is in the artwork because that is, it's not Judai's ace, but it is his favorite card. So that's just really neat. But I can equip this only to a level 5 or higher Elemental Hero monster. If I control a card in the field zone, the equipped monster gains attack equal to its original defense. And then the opponent cannot target it with card effects, so protection from there. Then at the start of the battle phase, I can activate a field spell directly from the hand or deck, which I do have one. And then you can only use that effect once per turn. When the equipped monster attacks and destroys an opponent's monster, I can send this card to the graveyard, and then that monster can attack again. So just, it's a nice little gimmicky card to have, but it actually works decently well with what I have in the extra deck. So that's neat. Now here, I have 2 copies of Instant Contact. Pour one out for Air Neos. You can kind of see its wings in the artwork. I also like how this is taking a still from the 3rd Yu-Gi-Oh! GX opening, which is my favorite anime opening ever. Teardrop is such a good song. But anyways, Instant Contact. Pay 1,000 life points, then I special summon a level 7 or lower elemental hero or Spacian monster from the extra deck. So there are Neo-Spacian fusion monsters, but I'm not running any of those. But yep. So its summoning conditions are ignored, and then while elemental hero Neos is neither on the field nor in the graveyard, the special summon monster cannot attack, but I'm almost always going to have Neos out. And then it returns to the deck during the end phase. But the idea here is to search for this with Spirit of Neos' effect, and then I'm going to have materials to, or I'll be able to summon like Flame Wingman with this to summon out the big boy, or one of the big boys, but that's a really nice, easy combo to do. Miracle Contact here, which is a really, really nice card. Shuffle into the deck from the hand, field, or graveyard fusion materials that are listed on an Elemental Hero fusion monster that lists Elemental Hero Neos. And it's just really, really nice because there's so many materials here that I can work with. I can make Brave Neos, any of the original like Neo-Spacian Contact fusions, Rainbow Neos if I need to. There's just a whole lot of options here, so this is a really, really nice card, and being able to recycle cards back into the deck with this, also really nice. Miracle Fusion, because I do run a copy of Elemental Hero Sunrise to search for it, also a really nice card, and actually being able to banish Neos and one of the materials used for it, which would be Flame Wingman, actually does give those 2 cards a little bit of protection for me to use a different card. And then I have 1 copy of Monster Reborn, 1 copy of Neospace for favorite hero, and also just to give Neos and its fusion monsters just that small little boost. And if I want to, I can keep them on the field at the end of the turn. 3 copies of Neos Fusion, because again, possibilities here, especially with Rainbow Neos. But the only thing is, with Neos Fusion, once I use it, I cannot special summon anything else. So yeah. And then it's nice being able to use cards from the deck with Neos Fusion. 2 copies of Polymerization, because I can make like Brave Neos, or if I somehow manage to draw both Neos and Rainbow Dragon in my hand, just another option. Plus, I mean, can't have a Judai deck without Polymerization. That's like his signature spell card. I have 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army, just because being able to search for any level 4 lower warrior monster from deck to the hand, really nice. It's a bit more, it's a lot less restrictive than Emergency Call, because with that I can only search for Stratos, Liquid Soldier, or Shadow Mist. Here I can at least search for a few other warriors, so that's neat. And just in case, I do have 1 copy of Super Polymerization, just in case if I want to steal an opponent's like level 4 or lower effect monster for Brave Neos. Always there. Also, I mean, it's a plot relevant card to Judai, so I guess it's kind of fitting to have it. Next up, I have the traps. I have 1 copy of another new card, Favorite Contact. So with this, I can special summon a fusion monster from the deck that mentions a hero monster as material, ignoring its summoning conditions by placing the fusion materials mentioned on it to the bottom of the deck in any order from cards in the hand, field, graveyard, and banished. So that's where Miracle Fusion's banishing effect can come in handy. And then if I place Neos into the deck, neither player can return that monster special summoned by this effect to the extra deck, which is a nice little bit of protection as well. And there's a lot of cards I can summon with this, like some of the more big Neos fusions, if I'm able to set up some Neo-Spacians in the graveyard. It's just a really powerful card. Or like Shining Neos Wingman can also be summoned this way. I have 1 copy of Infinite Impermanence, just because being able to negate an opponent's monster's effect, really, really neat. Next is also a really good card. I can special summon any monster with different names from my hand in our graveyard and defense position that are all Neo-Spacian monsters, or Neos, but effects are negated, and as long as I control any of the special summon monsters. I cannot special summon from the extra deck as fusion monsters, but being able to just get out all of my Neospacians in the graveyard and Neos just, again, gives me more potential for some fusion summon plays. Or, I guess, contact fusion, but whatever. Anyways, that is it for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. So this is what the extra deck is looking like. I'm going to start things off here by talking about what I call the big boy. This is Elemental Hero Cosmo Neos. It has some pretty steep requirements for summoning it. It requires Neos plus 3 different Neospacians with different attributes, which, I mean, that's where Favorite Contact or Miracle Contact come into play, because the idea is to set up the Neospacians in the graveyard and then use one of those 2 cards. But once Cosmo Neos is special summoned, then that's where it really shines, because once it's special summoned, I can activate this effect. For the rest of the turn, the opponent cannot activate cards. Also, cards the opponent controls cannot activate their effects, and your opponent cannot activate cards in response to this effect. So basically, I can, if I summon this early in the opponent's turn with like Favorite Contact, the opponent just cannot do anything. Their turn is essentially skipped. And then once per turn during the end phase, I shuffle this card into the extra deck. And if I do, destroy all cards the opponent controls. But just being able to skip what the opponent does, really, really nice. Then Rainbow Neos, of course. This is actually, I moved my original copy of Rainbow Neos over to this deck, because it's in my Crystal Beast deck. But, I don't know. Just wanted to move my original copy. But, requires Elemental Hero Neos plus an Ultimate Crystal Monster. I believe that's the new requirements for it. But that's where Rainbow Dragon comes in. Then its effects are just really powerful. I can either send a monster to the graveyard to shuffle the opponent's... does it get shuffled, or do they go back to the hand? Let's see. Yeah, no, they get shuffled. So send a monster to the send a monster to the graveyard that I control to shuffle the opponent's monsters into the deck, or a spell and trap, and to send their spells and traps to the deck, or I can send the top card of my deck and then shuffle the opponent's graveyard into the deck, which could come in handy as well. Magma Neos is a pretty neat card. Requires Flare, Scarab, and Grand Mole. So this card gains 400 attack for every card in the field. Then during the end phase, I can shuffle this card into the extra deck, and when it's sent to the extra deck that way, return all cards on the field to the hand. So just really nice to just reset the field. Nebula Neos here is one of the more newer ones. This requires Neos, Grand Mole, and Dark Panther. But so when this card is summoned, I can draw cards equal to the number of cards the opponent controls, then negate the effects of a face card on the field until the end of the turn. So the draw power from this could potentially be nice, but also the free negate is also pretty cool. Then when this card, or during the end phase, this card can return to the extra deck, and then I shuffle, or I banish all cards on the field face down. So yeah. Storm Neos here is going to require Air Hummingbird and an Aqua Dolphin. Once per turn, I can destroy all spells and traps on the field, and then if this card is on the field during the end phase, it gets sent to the extra deck, and then I return all cards on the field to the deck. So another board wipe there, but just neat. It's neat having all of these options here, just in case I need them. Next up is the other big boy, which was released in Power of the Elements. So this requires Neos plus a Wingman fusion monster, which I do have, but must be fusion summoned, gains 300 attack for each monster in the graveyard, also cannot be destroyed by card effects. So that's cool. And then if this card is special summoned, I can destroy cards that the opponent controls up to a number of different attributes among the monsters on the field. And then that effect can only be activated once per turn, but then once this card destroys an opponent's monster in battle, I can inflict damage equal to that monster's original attack. So it gets that Flame Wingman burn effect, which is neat. But it's just really cool that this is basically a combination of Judai's ace and his favorite card. I mean, it's artwork-wise, it's a combination of Neos and Shining Flare Wingman, but yeah. Sorry about this, the camera was starting to overheat. Anyways, next up here, I have Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, which requires a hero monster and then a water monster. That's where Liquid Soldier would come in, but gains 500 attack for each water monster in the field, except Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. And then when this card leaves the field, destroy all monsters the opponent controls. So it's a nice little board wipe there. So really handy. Next up, Aqua Neos. So when this card is summoned, requires Neos and Aqua Dolphin, and discard a card, and destroy a random card in the opponent's hand. Return to the extra deck during the end phase. I mean, I have cards to prevent that, like Neospace or Favorite Contact, I guess, but that's the whole gimmick of the Contact Fusion cards, I guess. Next up, this here is Elemental Hero Brave Neos. Requires Neos plus a level 4 or lower effect monster, so I can steal an opponent's monster with Super Polymerization, potentially. But, yep, gains 100 attack for each Neospatian and Hero monster in the graveyard, in my graveyard, specifically. Then when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, I can add a spell trap for my deck to the hand that specifically lists Neos. So, being able to search those out is also just really, really handy in case I need it. Right over here, I have Dark Neos, which requires Neos and Dark Panther. So this card, I can select a face-up effect monster on the field, and if it is not reactivated, when I control the face-up card, the selected monster's effect is negated, and it is removed from the field. So that's neat. Next up here is Grand Neos. So this requires Grand Mole. Wow, I can see my shadow there, but this requires Grand Mole. And then when it's special summoned, once per turn, I can target a monster the opponent controls and return it to the hand. So being able to bounce something is nice. This here, Sunriser. Is it Sunrise or Sunriser? I see both, well, part here says Sunrise, but when it's special summoned, I can search for Miracle Fusion, and then when an attack is declared involving another hero monster, I can target a card in the field and destroy it. So that's neat, but the search for Miracle Fusion is really what I want. Flame Wingman is to be summoned that with instant contact, and then be used to summon Shining Neos Wingman. So there's that. Then I do have two link monsters here. Wonder Driver, so if a card is normal summon or special summoned to a zone this thing is pointed to, that's hero monster at least, I can get Polymerization or a fusion spell, and it has to be in my graveyard, and then I can set it. And then if this card is a show of battle and sent to the graveyard, and this card in my I can just special summon a hero monster from my hand. So that's nice, but being able to recycle things like Miracle Fusion or Polymerization or even Super Polymerization, really, really nice. Then Infernal Devicer. When this card is link summoned, I can reveal a hero fusion monster from the extra deck and then add the two materials with different names from my deck to the hand. Then I cannot special summon monsters, except hero monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. So yeah, but that's all I have. So being able to search out materials is also just really, really handy. But that is the extra deck. So now I guess I'm going to let the camera cool off a little bit, and then I guess I'll show some test hands. Also, I do want to point out that I guess this deck does have a side deck in the form of Mask Change and Dark Law. If there's anything I want to replace with those, I guess it would be like a copy of Neospace Connector or like Stratos or something for Mask Change, and then probably any of the Neospatian Contact Fusion monsters like Aqua Neos or something, I guess. I don't have Air Neos though, because that card is hella expensive. But Dark Law is also just really handy because being able to just banish cards that the opponent has instead of sending them to the graveyard, really, really neat. But yeah, I guess these are the side deck options. Anyways, now to the test hands. Shuffling time. Shuffling time. This is I need to get like a bigger tripod or something, just because having this like propped up on like boxes among boxes, it's not comfortable to like lean in like this, but oh well. But I do need to shuffle this decently well because the deck was organized, so yeah. But oh well, don't mind. And like before, I'm just gonna do like a test hand for if I were to be going first, and then a test hand for if I were going to be going second. So let's start off here with going first after I'm done shuffling everything. Oh, I'm dropping everything. Hello. Oy. Okay, there we go. Now you. So deck is now shuffled. Let's draw 5 cards. So NEX, Instant Contact, Favorite Hero, Stratos. Wow, this is a very bad hand. You know what? Let's get a mulligan on this, just because that's not the best start that I want. But here we go. Monster Reborn. There we go. That's a better start, I guess. And I already have Instant Contact in my hand, so I guess with this I should do Engage Neospace. That's really all I need to get started with, but I'm gonna send Dark Panther here, and then I'm going to send Shadow Mist wherever you are. You're like at the top. There you are. So with Shadow Mist, I get a free search for that, and then I also get Polymerization. So there we go. So draw the, or not draw, shuffle this. And then from here, oh, I completely forgot, but I get the special summon Spirit of Neos with Engage Neospace, so I'm going to do this. And I guess I can add in, let's try Favorite Contact. Let's see how this goes. But Favorite Contact goes to the hand with Spirit of Neos' effect. Then Spirit of Neos bounces itself back into the deck, and I can summon regular Neos. So there we go. So this is what my hand is looking like right now. I'm going to summon Stratos here. So with Stratos, I get the search for Liquid Soldier, wherever you are. There you are. So Liquid Soldier goes into the hand. I shuffle the deck. Then next up, Polymerization. So from there, Liquid Soldier and Stratos to make Sunrise. So with Sunrise, I can add Miracle Fusion, and then Liquid Soldier's effect, meaning I can then draw 2 and then discard 1. So let's see what I draw. Hoping I draw something nice. Super Poly, okay. Decent, I guess. And then Flare Scarab. I can just discard Flare Scarab. So that's 2 different Neospatians. It's not 2 that I can work with for Favorite Contact. But, so now I have Miracle Fusion here. Let's see. I could do the Monster Reborn to get Stratos back and use that to search for something. But I'm not really... I could get, like, Honest Neos into my hand, I guess, but Instant Contact, I pay the life points to get Flame Wingman here out onto the field. So I have Miracle Fusion to get out... or I do have Super Polymerization as well. I could save Miracle Fusion for, like, turn 2. So I can use Liquid Soldier's draw effect again. But this is actually, ooh, ideas. Ideas, actually. So this is still the turn 1, so Miracle Fusion, let's just banish those 2 to get Big Boy out. So there's Shiny Neos Wingman. Also, just gonna comment on the fact that I have a Johan playmat and I'm using a Judai deck because, you You know the two. You know how they work. Let's see here. And then I can do... what can I search? You know what? I'm going to do this, Monster Reborn, to get Stratos out. So Stratos gets me the search for... Could be Honest Neos, I guess. Just for the extra oomph. Wow, second card. There we go. So Honest Neos is now in the hand, so I can make something stronger if I really need it. Then I do have Neos Fusion as well as a contingency plan, or Super Polymerization I meant. Then here, Neos Fusion. So let's just put away Neos and Rainbow Dragon. So from there, my board is looking pretty nice, because I now have myself Rainbow Neos here. Neos, Shiny Neos Wingman, Sunrise. Neos Fusion gives my Neos boys fusion, or not fusion, gives them a little bit of protection. I have Honest Neos here to bump things up into being more powerful. Then I can just set favorite contact. I guess Super Polymerization as a bluff, but set favorite contact, and I have Neos banished, and then I have some materials to work with for like Brave Neos or Dark Neos or something. But yeah, that's a decent turn 1 setup. It would have been neat if I could have gotten off Cosmo Neos with just like one more Neospatian in the graveyard. But I was not lucky with that. But anyways, oops, bumped my box that my tripods are on. Let me shuffle the deck again, and let's try a setup if I were going turn 2. Okay, so I bumped the boxes that my tripod was on, so the framing might be slightly different, but just gotta shuffle the deck, and then I can show off a potential turn 2 start, assuming I can pull off these plays, because you never know. The opponent can always negate whatever it is you do, and whatever, but this is just assuming I'm able to do this stuff. So, right off the bat... Oh, you're upside down. Not like it really matters. Ooh, this is actually, not that bad, I guess. Yeah. So, draw a card. So first off, gonna start with Engage Neospace. So, bye-bye Glowmoss, and bye-bye Shadow Mist. Drawing Crosskeeper also is just really, really nice. So, let's see. Where are you, Shadow Mist? There you... Wow, next card I was going to draw. So, Shadow Mist. So, from there, I get the Polymerization from Engage Neospace. So, Polymerization. And, of course, I have to get a super rare one, because why not? And then Shadow Mist. So, from there, I can search Stratos. Okay, so there we go. And then, oh, I keep on forgetting, but Spirit of Neos. So now from there, I can search out... Do I have Instant Contact in my hand? No, I don't. Okay, so get Instant Contact wherever you are. Again, pour one out for Air Neos. You can kind of see its wings in the background. But, yeah. I'm still hopeful that one day we'll maybe get a reprint. So, deck is shuffled. I don't know why I shuffled, because I'm just going to get Neos out of it with Spirit of Neos' effect. So, there we go. Neos is on the field. I can also now just use Crosskeeper, so Let's see. Yeah, let's do that. So, Crosskeeper goes to the grave, and I can use its effect to special summon Glowmoss, I guess, just because. So, there we go. And then from there, summon out Stratos. And from there, I get Liquid Soldier, wherever you are. So, repeating the whole shebang here. Let's see, where I saw you. There you are. So, Liquid Soldier. And then from there, now that I have Liquid Soldier, I can just go for the Polymerization again, Liquid Soldier, and Stratos to make Sunrise. So now we have multiple effects going off. So Sunrise, I get to search for the Miracle Fusion. There we go. And then from there, I can actually activate Crosskeeper's effect. So since I special summon an Elemental Hero Fusion monster while this card was in the graveyard, I can banish this card, draw 2 cards, then place a card from the hand to the bottom of the deck. So Crosskeeper gets banished. I draw, I guess, Spirit of Neos. Miracle Contact, which is nice. So Spirit of Neos, you can go to the bottom of the deck for now, because I won't be needing you. And then Liquid Soldier's effect activates, so I draw 2, then discard 1. Honestly, I don't really need... What could I get rid... Yeah, I'll just discard Stratos, I guess. So, there we go. So this is what my hand is looking like now. Let's see. Let's go for the Miracle Instant Contact. So with that, I get myself Flame Wingman. So with Flame Wingman out, I can then activate Miracle Fusion. Or Miracle Contact, I guess. But, let's see. Neos Fusion in the hand again is also really nice, so... you know what, let's just do that. So Miracle Fusion. So those 2 get banished. They don't go to the grave. What am I talking about? But it's just, with this deck, it's really easy to get Shining Neos Wingman out. And potentially the others, depending on how lucky my setup is. But, there we go. Then, I have Miracle Contact. Actually, no, I really don't. Because, actually, no, what I can do here now is Monster Reborn. So, from there, I can just get out Stratos. So with Stratos now, I can just get myself Neos. And then with that, I could then activate Miracle Contact. So Neos can go back in, and I guess Glowmoss. Actually, no, I kind of want Glowmoss there just in case I can use it later on. But, yeah, let's do Stratos, just in case I want to recycle its effect for later. They get shuffled into the deck. And with that, I get a summon for Brave Neos. And then Neos Fusion to get rid of Rainbow Dragon and Neos to give myself Rainbow Neos. So Rainbow Neos is now on the field. I have Called by the Grave and Next if I need them, so I can set those. Neos Fusion gives my Neos Fusions some protection. Rainbow Neos Effect to bounce the opponent's monsters, so they are open for a direct attack. And Neos Wingman got its destruction effect off, probably. And then, yeah, that's what my turn 2 setup is looking like. But then I have Called by the Grave for protection, and Next to use on my next turn to get, like, Neos out, I guess. I mean, yeah. Just really nice potential turn 2 setup if I can get all those combos to work. And then the next card I was going to draw is Neospace Connector, which actually, not bad. Not bad for a draw on my next turn. But yeah, that's the Neos deck. It's actually a ton of fun to play with. I remember I was testing this out on Dueling Book with Jamie, and in one of the duels I was able to get off Cosmo Neos, and it was just really, really great. But it's just a really fun deck, and I really like it a lot, especially because I do like Judai as a character. He's my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh character at this point. Sorry, show. Judai surpassed you in my most recent GX rewatch, which was like last year or something. But yeah, just a really, really fun deck, and I'm glad I'm able to build a Neos deck that is actually decently viable in a casual play. So yep, that's gonna be it for this deck profile. If there's anything I could do to improve this deck, feel free to let me know. Again, this is like it's a casual leaning towards the competitive side, but it's just fun. It's just ton of fun to play with this deck. I would say this is probably my second favorite deck to play with right now, with my Stratos Dragon deck being my favorite, but this is a really good second deck. Anyways, that's going to be it. So thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time for another vlog. I do have another deck profile coming up since I did update one of my other decks, but that'll be coming up soon. Anyways, I'm going to end it off here. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time for another vlog. Later!